I still remember the exact second my life split in half. I was 17, standing in our kitchen in rural Ohio, holding my acceptance letter from Stanford. Full ride. The only one from my high school ever. My dad didn't even look up from his beer. He just said, "Agriculture tech? What the hell is that, some hippie weed degree?" My mom laughed. Actually laughed. "Honey, we love you, but let's be realistic. You're not the smart one. Your sister got the brains. You got heart." That word, heart. They said it like it was a disease. I felt my throat close. I ran upstairs, locked my door, and cried so hard I threw up. That was the day they started calling me their disappointment daughter. Not behind my back and to my face. Fast forward 8 years. My name is Riley Harper. I'm 25 now. And last month, my AgTech startup just sold for $8.5 million. But nobody in my family knows yet. And the way they're about to find out? God, I still shake when I think about it. Call to action. If you've ever been the family screw-up, the one nobody believed in, smash that like button right now and keep watching. This one's for you. Growing up, our farm was everything. Dad ran 400 acres of corn and soybeans. Mom kept the books and raised us 3 kids. My older sister Lauren was the golden child. Straight A's, cheer captain, full scholarship to Michigan. My little brother Cody was the athlete, football star, everybody's favorite. Then there was me. I was the weird one who talked to, plants. Literally, I'd sit in the fields for hours testing soil pH with kits I bought with babysitting money. I built little drip irrigation systems out of soda bottles when I was 12. Dad called it playing in the dirt. Mom said, I was wasting time when I should have been learning to cook or finding a boyfriend. Senior year, the drought hit hard. We lost almost 40% of the corn. Dad was drinking every night. One evening, I showed him my high school science fair project. A cheap sensor that texted you when soil moisture dropped too low. I built it for $37. He looked at it for 3 seconds and said, Riley, if this actually worked, real farmers would already be using it. Stop dreaming and go get a real job at the co-op. I will never forget that sentence. I left for Stanford 3 months later with 1 suitcase and 0 goodbye hugs. College was brutal. I worked 3 jobs, slept 4 hours a night, cried in the library bathroom more times than I can count. But I kept building. I turned that high school sensor into a real product. Called it Root Signal. By junior year, we had a working prototype that could save farmers 25% on water. Investors started calling. I never told my family. Every Christmas I went home, it was the same script. Lauren had a new promotion. Cody had a new trophy. And me? How's California, sweetheart? Still playing with your little plants? I started lying. Told them I was figuring things out. They nodded like that proved their point. Last year, my company raised a $2 million seed round. I flew home for Thanksgiving to test the waters, maybe tell them. We sat down for dinner. Dad raised his glass and said, to Lauren, our VP at 28, and to Cody, signing with an agent. And to Riley, well, we're proud of you for trying, honey. Trying. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and threw up again. That night, I promised myself they would never make me feel small again. 6 months ago, we launched Root Signal nationwide. Farmers in 12 states started using it. Water savings were even better than we modeled, 32%. Revenue went vertical. Last month, we got 3 acquisition offers in the same week. We took the biggest one, $8.5 million. The day the wire hit my account, I sat in my apartment in Palo Alto and stared at my phone for an hour. Then I booked a flight home. I flew into Columbus last week. Rented a black Escalade, no driver, just me. I needed to feel every second of the drive home. It was harvest season. The fields were golden perfect. I passed our farm sign, Harper and Sons, still no spot for a daughter, and turned down the long gravel driveway. I hadn't told them I was coming. I parked right in front of the house. Mom was on the porch snapping beans. She looked up, squinted, then yelled, Riley? That you? I stepped out in the same jeans and boots I wore in high school. Hair in a messy ponytail, no makeup. I wanted them to see the same disappointment daughter one last time. Dad came out wiping his hands on a rag. Cody followed, bigger than ever, Lauren right behind him with her perfect blowout. Mom hugged me like nothing ever happened. Baby girl, why didn't know you were coming? Dad gave me that half hug guys do. Hey kid, still in California? I smiled. Yeah, for now. We went inside. Same kitchen table. Same smell of coffee and fried onions. They asked the usual questions. So, you still doing that plant thing? I said, "Yep, actually just wrapped up something big." Lauren smirked. "Like big for you? Did you finally get a real office job?" Cody laughed. "Or did your tomatoes win a blue ribbon?" Even Mom chuckled. "Riley, we're teasing, tell us." My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I pulled out my phone, opened the banking app, and turned it around so they could see the balance. $8,543,000.12. The kitchen went dead silent. Dad's mouth actually fell open. Mom dropped the bean bowl. Beans scattered everywhere. Lauren whispered, That's not real," I said, voice shaking. "It's very real. My company just sold. That's my share after taxes." Cody finally spoke. You're rich?" I looked straight at Dad. "Root signal. The little plant thing is now on 40,000 farms. We just saved farmers over 1 billion gallons of water this year." Dad tried to laugh it off. "Well, hell, Riley, why didn't you say something?" I felt 8 years of rage rise up my throat. "Because every time I tried, you told me I was wasting my life. You called me the disappointment daughter for the last time on Thanksgiving when you toasted to everyone except me." Mom started crying. "Honey, we didn't mean—" I cut her off. "You did mean it." Every word. The room was suffocating. I walked to the door. Dad said, "Wait, where are you going?" "Stay, let's celebrate." I turned around slowly. "Actually, there's one more thing I came to do." I reached into my backpack and pulled out a thick manila envelope. I walked back to the table and slid it toward Dad. He opened it. His face went white. Inside were legal papers, transfer of our family farm into a conservation trust, and a purchase offer from my company for every acre. At 20% above market value. Dad looked up confused. "Riley, what is this?" I took a breath so deep it hurt. "This is me buying the farm. All of it. Closing is in 10 days. Mom screamed, "You can't do that." I looked her dead in the eye. I already did. And right then my phone buzzed. I glanced down. A text from my lawyer. They just signed. "It's done." I looked back up at my family, all 4 of them frozen like statues. And I said the sentence I had practiced in mirror for months. "Welcome to the new management." I turned to walk out. Dad yelled, "Riley, wait! We need to talk about this." I stopped at the door. And that's when the real twist happened. The front door opened again, and in walked a man in a suit I'd never seen before. He looked straight at my dad and said, "Mr. Harper? FBI, we have a warrant for your arrest. Tax fraud, wire fraud, and evasion totaling $1.8 million. Dad's knees buckled. Mom screamed. And I just stood there, watching everything I planned for 2 years unfold in slow motion. But here's the thing nobody knows yet. I'm the one who turned him in. I swear the air left the room like someone had yanked it out with a vacuum. Dad's face went from white to gray. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. The FBI agent stepped forward, cuffs already in his hand. 2 more agents appeared behind him like ghosts. Mom lunged at me. "Riley, tell them it's a mistake. Tell them." I didn't move. I couldn't. My legs felt glued to the floor. Dad finally found his voice. "Baby, please. Whatever you think I did." I laughed. One short, ugly laugh. "I don't think, Dad. I know." I pulled the second envelope from my backpack, the one I never planned to open in front of them. I tossed it on the table. "Open it." Lauren, shaking, picked it up. She pulled out the stack of bank records. Wire transfers, fake invoices, everything I'd spent 18 months collecting. With the forensic accountant I hired the day after last Thanksgiving. Dad had been skimming crop insurance payouts, falsifying yields, running money through Cody's fake Scouting LLC, almost $2 million. Enough to keep the farm looking profitable while he drank it away. Lauren looked up at me, tears streaming. You did this?" I nodded slow. Every document, every tip to the IRS hotline, every recorded phone call when he bragged about beating the system, that was me. Cody stepped toward me, fists balled. "You betrayed your own blood for money?" I didn't flinch. "No, I protected the land you were all too busy lying to save." The agents moved in. Dad didn't fight. He just kept staring at me like I was a stranger. As they cuffed him, he whispered, "I was gonna pay it back. I swear." I leaned in close so only he could hear. "You had 8 years to believe in me. You chose not to. Now I choose not to believe in you." They walked him out past the porch, past the fields he always said were his legacy. Mom was sobbing on the floor. Lauren was screaming at the agents. Cody looked like he wanted to hit something, but he didn't dare. I stepped over the broken bean bowl and walked outside. The sun was setting over the corn, same gold it always was, but it felt different now. I got in the Escalade and just sat there for a minute. Then I rolled the window down and called out, "One more thing." They all turned. I held up the signed purchase agreement. The farm is mine now, but I'm not kicking you out tonight. You have 30 days to pack. After that, the house becomes employee housing for the families who actually work the land. Mom wailed my name like I was murdering her. I looked at her dead in the eyes. You taught me love was conditional. I just returned the lesson. I started the engine. Lauren ran up to the window. You think this makes you better than us? You're cruel, Riley. I smiled for the first time all day. No, Lauren. I'm free. I'm just no longer your disappointment. I drove away while the red and blue lights bounced off the barn. 2 weeks later, closing day, I stood in the lawyer's office wearing the same muddy boots I wore the day I left for college. The farm was officially mine, debt-free, paid cash. I signed the last page, then walked across the street to the coffee shop and waited. At exactly 2 p.m., the door opened. In walked my little sister Ava, the one nobody ever talks about. Turns out when I started digging into Dad's books, I found payments to a woman in Indiana, monthly, for 17 years. Ava is 16. She has my same eyes and the same dirt under her fingernails I used to have. Dad's secret daughter. The final twist he never saw coming. I stood up and hugged her so tight she laughed through tears. I whispered, I bought the farmhouse. There's a bedroom with your name on it. And 400 acres that need someone who actually loves them. She looked up at me. You're really my sister? I nodded. And I'm never leaving you behind like they left me. We walked out together. That night, I stood on the porch of the porch, our porch, and watched the stars come out over the fields. I still have the 8.5 million. But the real money was the moment I realized I don't need their approval anymore. I built something bigger than their small minds could ever imagine. And I saved the little girl they tried to erase. Some people think revenge is ugly. Maybe it is. But sometimes revenge is just the long way home to the person you were, before they convinced you were nothing. I am Riley Harper. I was the disappointment daughter. Now I'm the one who decides what this land grows, who it feeds, and who gets to call family. And for the first time in my life, I sleep with the windows open, listening to the corn grow, because it finally grows for me. If this story hit you in the chest, do 3 things right now, like subscribe and comment the word roots so I know you made it to the end. I read every single one. This was my truth. Thank you for listening.